All right, welcome back to Reflections, everyone, where we talk about all things Church of Christ with the Elijah Message. It is good to be back with you, spending this time together. So, in the Elijah Message tradition, one of our foundational claims that sets us apart from the rest of Christianity is that we believe that a resurrected John the Baptist, as an angel messenger, speaks to our church, brings us the messages from heaven. And this idea of certain people becoming angels or equal to the angels did exist around the Second Temple period, at least, in the time that Jesus lived. So I want to take a look at some of these examples. So let's begin in the Bible, in the book of Daniel, in chapter 12. Talking about the end times. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. It's the idea that Michael is the angel of Israel. He's the protector of the Jewish people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered. Every one shall be found written in the book, so the Lamb's book of life, perhaps, in the book of Revelation. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. So this is believed to be the first real reference to the idea of resurrection in the Old Testament. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, of the dome, the heavens. And they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. And from a Latter-day perspective, this sounds like the degrees of glory, the brightness that you shine in heaven. And perhaps the brightness is an allusion to the brightness of the countenance of angels that you will have in heaven. Let's go to the Gospel of Luke. And this story is found in the Synoptic Gospels, in Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Chapter 20. We'll be picking up here in verse 27, talking about the resurrection. Then came to him certain of the Sadducees. So the Sadducees was the Jewish group at the time that were responsible for the temple work. And they only accepted the 5 books of Moses, which deny that there is any resurrection. And they asked him, saying, Master, Moses wrote unto us, if any man's brother die having a wife, and he die without children, that his brother should take his wife and raise up seed unto his brother. This is quoting Deuteronomy. There were therefore 7 brethren, and the first took a wife and died without children. And the second took her to wife, and he died childless. And the third took her. And in like manner the 7 also, and they left no children and died. Last of all, the woman died also. Therefore, in the resurrection, whose wife of them is she? For 7 had her to wife. And Jesus answering, said unto them, the children of this world marry and are given in marriage. But they which shall be accounted worthy to obtain that world and the resurrection from the dead, neither marry nor are given in marriage, neither can they die any more. For they are equal unto the angels, and are the children of God, being the children of the resurrection. So, is this story about marriage? Like nobody in heaven is marriage and that's it? Or is it about being equal to the angels, being angel-like in heaven, or maybe both. So let's go into some apocryphal text. Let's go to the book of 2nd Enoch. Enoch having visions here in chapter 22. We're picking up here at around verse 5. And the Lord with his mouth said to me, brave Enoch, don't be frightened, stand up and stand in front of my face forever. And Michael, the Lord's great archangel, lifted me up and brought me in front of the face of the Lord. And the Lord said to his servants, surround them. Let Enoch join in and stand in front of my face forever. And the Lord's glorious ones did worship and said, let Enoch yield in accordance with your word, O Lord. And the Lord said to Michael, go and extract Enoch from his earthly clothing and anoint him with my delightful oil and put him into clothes of my glory. And so Michael did just as the Lord had said to him. And he anointed me and he clothed me. And the appearance of that oil is greater than the greatest light. And its ointment is like sweet dew. And its fragrance like myrrh. And is like the rays of the glittering sun. And I looked at myself, and I had become like one of his glorious ones. And there was no observable difference. No difference. He become like the angels, the glorious ones. Jumping a little over to chapter 30, about verse 10. In this poem here, from invisible and visible substances, I created man. From both his natures came both death and life. And as my image, he knows the word like no other creature. But even at his greatest, he is small. And again, at his smallest, he is great. God creating mankind. And on the earth, I assigned him to be a second angel, honored and great and glorious. And I assigned him to be a king, to reign on the earth, and to have my wisdom. And there was nothing comparable to him on the earth, even among my creatures that exist. To be something like an angel, a second angel. Let's go on to the book of 3rd Enoch. The visions of Rabbi Ishmael. And this is a fascinating work. Because we find that Enoch is the angel Metatron, who's mentioned in Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah, who's mentioned in the Talmud. I'm picking up here in chapter 4, where Rabbi Ishmael said, I said to Metatron, why are you called by name of your creator with 70 names? You are greater than all the princes, more exalted than all the angels. And then he answers in verse 3, and I'm jumping a little bit. He says, I am Enoch, the son of Jared. So Enoch is the angel Metatron. Really fascinating. Jumping over to chapter 8, picking up here around verse 2. Then the Holy One, blessed be he, the Lord God, bestowed upon me wisdom, heaped upon wisdom, understanding upon understanding, prudence upon prudence, knowledge upon grace. Mercy upon mercy, law upon law, love upon law, beauty upon beauty, humility upon humility, might upon might, strength upon strength, power upon power, splendor upon splendor, loveliness upon loveliness, comeliness upon comeliness, And I was honored and adored with all these excellent, praiseworthy qualities, more than all the distance of the heavens. And Rabbi Ishmael said, Metatron, Prince of the Divine Presence, said to me, in addition to all these qualities, the Holy One, blessed be He, laid His hand on me and blessed me with 1,365,000 blessings. I was enlarged and increased in size till I matched the world in length and breadth. He made me to grow on me 72 wings, 36 on one side and 36 on the other, and each single wing covered the entire world. He fixed in me 365,000 eyes, and each eye was like the great light. There was no sort of splendor, brilliance, brightness, or beauty in the luminaries of the world that He failed to fix in me. Explaining the transformation of the person Enoch into the angel. It's a fascinating text. Go on to the book of 2nd Baruch. So Baruch was Jeremiah's scribe, but in the Apocrypha, he's a prophet in his own right. Here in chapter 51, this is the Lord speaking, picking up in about verse 3. As for the glory of those who proved to be righteous on account of my law, those who possessed intelligence in their life, and those who planted the root of wisdom in their heart, their splendor will then be glorified by transformations, and the shape of their face will be changed into the light of their beauty, so that they may acquire and receive the undenying world which is promised to them. Therefore, especially they who will then come will be sad, because they despised my law and stopped their ears, lest they hear wisdom and receive intelligence. When they therefore will see that those over whom they are exalted now will be more exalted and glorified than they. Right back. And we're back. And when they therefore will see that those over whom they are exalted now will then be more exalted and glorified than they, then both these and those will be changed, these into the splendor of angels, and those into startling visions and horrible shapes, and they will waste away even more. The righteous will be changed into the splendor of angels. Go on to the Ascension of Isaiah, and it's believed this is kind of a Christian text written after Jesus. So that's interesting. In chapter 8, we're picking up around verse 13. And I proclaimed the greatness of my Lord with praise, that through His lot I should come here. And He said to me, hear then this also from your companion. This is the angel that's taken Isaiah through the 7 heavens. When from the body, by the will of God, you have come up here, then you will receive the robe, which you will see, and also other numbered robes placed there, you will see. And then you will be equal to the angels who are in the 7th heaven. It's a fascinating idea. You go in here to the prayer of Joseph, which is just absolutely fantastic. In verse 1, I, Jacob, who is speaking to you, am also Israel, an angel of God. So Jacob is the person on the earth, but he is the angel, Israel, in heaven. And a ruling spirit. Abraham and Isaac were created before any work, but I, Jacob, who men call Jacob, but whose name is Israel, am he who God called Israel, which means a man seeing God, because I am the firstborn of every living thing to whom God gives life. That's fascinating, because we as Christians say that Jesus is the firstborn of every living thing. This image, this icon, this reflection of the Father. And it's interesting because it says that Abraham and Isaac were created before any work. So it sounds a lot like in the Latter-day Saint tradition that things were created spiritually in heaven before they were on the earth, in the pre-existence. It's just really fascinating things. To do just one more, in the Acts of Paul and Thecla, it's almost like a Beatitudes. This is Paul praying. He said, "Blessed are those who have the fear of God, the respect of God, who have the honor of God, for they will become the angels of God. They will become the messengers of God." And maybe that's referring to divine beings. Maybe that's just a messenger. That's really interesting. Just really interesting stuff. My brothers and sisters, it's been wonderful spending this time with you, thinking about these things, reflecting upon them. And until next time, I invite you into the Elijah Message House.